the major corridors that we're, oh, did it stop sharing?
Sorry, yeah, stop sharing.
Major corridors. And some of that data, the utility owners want to be secure. We were just talking to Halifax this morning. Dave and I were about our NDA. So we have a non-disclosure agreement if they want their data secure. And then when it goes into our system, our IT department has security around that. A lot of utility data is publicly available. You just have to go out and find it. That's what KCI is doing for us. They're scraping the different county and municipal sites and pulling all that data in for us. So this is an example. This is Raleigh, obviously. We've got like the, you can see the list of them over here. We got the sewer pump stations, manholes, laterals, force mains, different Raleigh utility layers in there. And then you can do, if you have this little blue thing, you click on it and say, let me see what this is. See if this is going to do it live or not. Might just sit there and spin. So there it goes. So it pulls up a card. It tells you some information about it. Tells you some information about that manhole you clicked on, all the attribute data, and then, you know, what type it is, some different data. So you can do that. You click through the different cards. There was 5 different manholes right there. You could zoom in and pick out your specific one if you wanted to. And I'm sure all this information about manholes means a lot more to you than it does to me. But the data is there. The same thing with, we close this out. Let's see. There's some other layers in here. One of the things we've added since the last time we talked to you, we have our STIP lines in there, you know, the Transportation Improvement Program, all the DOT highway projects. That might be of interest to you, but we've created the non-STIP layers now. All of those smaller projects that weren't on the STI, but are very important for local work. You might run into those with your work a whole lot more often. So now we have our non-STIP layers in here. Let me zoom out a little bit. And so you can go in here and see, and you can see it up here in the, there we go, non-STIP layers, STIP layers, force main, make sure it's all in there. Yeah, and then I'm gonna talk about road inundation points in a minute. But if you wanna see something about one of our projects, then you can go ahead and click on it, same way, and it'll pull up, hopefully information about it. The internet's working with me. Trying to reload so it zoomed out some. That might take a minute. And while that's trying to load, you can see the points there, all these little dots. If you're inundated, if you're interested in road inundation, flooding, we work with emergency management with their modeling, and now you can see where roads flood in the 10-year storm, 50-year, 25-year, the 100-year, all the way up to the 500-year storm. So if that's important for your planning and your work, you can come in here and say, oh, I'm going to be working in this area. Look, I get a flood on this section of road just for a 50-year storm, which is not very big. And so you can use that for some of your planning efforts. See what's going to flood, see what non-STIP projects, non-STIP is like maintenance and curbs and guardrails and those kind of things. Not the big projects, the STIP projects are in there too, but the smaller projects that really may interfere with some work you're trying to do. Or maybe you want to know where they're going to pave, or where they're going to put in a guardrail, or if they're going to be milling, something like that. All of that's in here now, so it can help you. What we found, it helps with that early planning, so you don't have conflicts. You can plan out your work, so you're not working at the same time they're trying to work, or you know, hey, I'm going to go in here and replace this, and they're supposed to pave it next week. I need to coordinate with somebody before I get that work scheduled. And so we've tried to make it as interactive and useful as possible. You don't have to be a GIS expert. Like I said, it's very intuitive. You just click on the map and you load your layers and you click on the map and it tells you information about it. And you see it.
DDC jobs.
Yes,
Okay.
those would be in there too. And it was DDC district division design construct jobs. They're in there too. Now it depends on how they're listed. They'll either be a STIP, some of those are STIP projects, some of them are non-STIP projects. But yes, all lettings are all project type lettings. We don't distinguish by the letting type by what we put in there. So. And as you see, it's continuing to load. You can click on one of these inundation points here. And it's going to load up this. And you can see over here, it tells you some information about it, your route ID, the road elevation, the work surface elevation for that 500-year storm, how deep the water will be, like 3.7 feet. So it gives you a lot of information from a GIS perspective based on emergency management modeling. This has been very helpful. So you can see you got your sewer in here. That's what these are. Yeah, gravity sewer. You are going here, you're looking in your project area and find some information about that. We have a bunch of other layers. Like I said, there's about 750 layers. And instead of picking through those 750 layers, what we've done is develop the templates that we're talking about. And that can be tailored to anything, what you do. It can be tailored to your region, your county, your type of work. And so we'll take your input on that and say, this is the 10 layers I use every time I want to go in there and find it. Well, then instead of having to load 10 layers, you click one button and it loads it for you every time. The good thing about this is, and just a reminder, is this live data. You're not taking a cut of this and putting it on your desktop and then it's old tomorrow. Every time you go into Atlas, you're getting the latest data because it's pulling it from the source. So if it's municipal data or county data or federal or state, this goes out there and grabs it from the source data and displays it through a web service to you. And so that's been one of the main goals, is to make sure we have the latest and it's vetted and we have it up to date, and then access to the regular user. All right, so let's see. Anybody have any interest in any particular layer they would want to see?
Can you show a utility layer?
What is that?
Can you show a utility
Yeah,
layer?
this is Raleigh utility layer. So this is gravity's sewer. You got manholes over here. You've got these were.
You got some. I know you got some telecom layers in the system as well. And we have other. Yeah. Then we get the electronic.
The layers y'all have been providing are probably not in here yet because they had to go to our IT department and they have to put that security on. So I have a dashboard and I tried to pull it up, but because this is our dashboard of all the data that these guys have collected, and it's, I guess because of like trying to go through a firewall here, it's not letting me get the data on a hotspot. But we have thousands of pieces of data in this dashboard that then are going to migrate over to Atlas. This is, like I said, some of these are secure, and so it's having to go through our IT department, which, as we know, all of our IT departments are probably like ours, a little busy or slow side. But that will be released soon. Those bigger utility providers that y'all been working hard to collect, and then all of those we've scraped from the website, like from got City of Raleigh in there. So those will be coming soon. The So it got to that. Let me get back here.
So how do you access this? Does it require?
The easiest way to access it, and until you bookmark it, just Google NCDOT Atlas. And let me see if that'll load. I'll show you real quick. Sorry about the screen being a slight delay. Just trying.
So once you go to that, does it require credentials or?
Yeah, the only thing you have to have is an NCID. You used to have an NCID and an AD, Access Directory Group. Now all you need is an NCID. Anybody in the state can sign up for one. If you don't have one, go to your NCID page and create it. That's the only thing you need now. You have full access to all the layers. All right, so there it is. So NCDOT Atlas Resources. You click on that. And then you got all kinds of resources here. Gotta wait for it to catch up. But in the middle of the page is a link to the search and the screening tool. And then once you click on that, you can bookmark it on your computer and go directly to it from then on. If you don't have an NCID, we're gonna have to get one set up, but you can, like I said, go to Google NCID and it'll take you to the sign up page.
How precise is the location of the different utilities or things they've got on there?
They're as precise as the source data that was provided to us.
Yeah.
So if Wake County was very precise with their manhole, we're pulling it directly from their source. So, and that's a good question because with 750 different layers,
Yes.
you're gonna, depending on who your provider is or your source data, they may have different levels of precision and accuracy.
Yeah, let me just say too, NCDOT looks at this, let's say a designer's looking at it. That designer is not going to look at this as an as-built by no means. It's going to give them a reference, say, hey, City of Raleigh's out here, new transmission. They're looking for big ticket items. One, how can they avoid these conflicts should they determine the conflict is extensive, costly, long lead times? The DOT will still do due diligence to locate those facilities at the appropriate time, probably using level B depending on the area, or quality level B. But they're looking at it just as a reference point of who's out there. And it gives them a better understanding when they're looking at a design phase of the project and how the utilities are subject to impact that project.
Right. Knowing that something's out there at that early stage is probably more important than knowing exactly where it's at. And so that's what we try to tell the owners. Look, we're not looking for precision at this point.
Right.
This is somebody looking at a corridor or an intersection or an upcoming project. But, oh, I've got a main here, or I've got a station here, or I've got something else that creates a major conflict. As when we start into planning, and then you got to have a relocation you didn't know about, and that costs money and that costs time. And then you talked about damage earlier. You definitely don't want to damage it. One of the layers we've added in is all of our way stations, and not just the station, but all the electronics and all that go with it, because they had a damage. They said, how do we get our stuff in there so that we can prevent damage in the future? And so we work with our way station group, digitize all of their lines, their sensors, they extend hundreds of feet out from the station that you see, and the actual stations themselves. So now our planners, when they're working in that area, will know it's not just that building, and the parking lot sitting on the side of the road. It's all of these monitors going up and down the highway that you have to avoid also. And like I said, there's layers that y'all want created that aren't in there or wanted to try to find. We can do that. We can create templates of layers for you. And as we've added City of Raleigh in here, we're adding all these in constantly. That dashboard I showed you, as soon as IT gives us the clearance, we'll be pushing all of that data that's in here also. And they have really collected a lot of data across the state. Like I said, but we promised to make to the providers that it'll be secure, and so IT has to do their work first. If it is secure, depending on your level of access, you may not see it on the map, but if you run a screening, it's going to tell you, hey, you've got, Piedmont gas line in your project study area, and then it'll give you the contact person who is the contact. So it's that awareness of knowing what's in your area, what's in proximity to your project, that really is where the payoff is early in the project lifecycle.
Yeah, I call it. I'm ex-NCDOT too. I call that project a locomotive. When it starts rolling, you might come up and say, well, I've got an 8-inch gas line out here. I can't move it. They're like, well, wish I'd known that a couple months ago before we got to design. Once that train starts rolling, this, and also I came from utility. I'd like to have, them guys know, hey, I had this out here. You could avoid me beforehand instead of now I've got to go. I was a telco. You got to move a switch. You're looking 2 years. You know, an little DDC project, 2 years, they don't like that. Go roundabout or lane, add a lane or something like that.
Yeah,
That's the reason why I say, you know, I came from utility, I'd like to have my stuff. So somebody,
And that's
I was
the,
gonna say too, that this tool can be used as a scheduling tool when you look at it for future estimating what projects are coming up that's gonna impact your utilities, because, you know, you move $500,000 worth of gas main, you didn't budget for that project. I mean, that gets tough. But these are tools that can help the utility industry a lot.
yeah, that awareness is the biggest challenge in that early planning, and just knowing what's there, knowing what you're facing. And if DOT knows about it early on, or whoever's doing the work, then we can avoid a lot of it. You know, but if we're down the road and design's done or right of way's done, then it's really hard to avoid something when we're so far into the project progress. I encourage you to, if you don't have an NCID, to get one and log in. If you have any troubles finding the information you need, we have an email, it's atlas@ncdot.gov, and I can give you my presentation at the end. It's got all these links in there. And it's a live help desk, comes to me and another girl that works with me, so it doesn't go out there in some, you know, box space answering things. So we man it every day, and if you got questions, we're live, we can help you at your desktop. Log into a team site or something and help you there. We are making some changes. We're moving to the cloud. And that's going to help us handle these big data sets even bigger and even better and faster. And let me show you. So that's finally loading there. So it's finally loaded there. So that's what I've been looking at over here. I'm like, come on, let's load up. And so any one of those dots, points, lines, polygons, you can click on it and get all that attribute information. You can copy that table and put it over to an Excel file, put it in a Word document, send it to somebody, whatever you want to do. So it gives you a lot of information at your fingertips, a lot of utility data and other project data. Like I said, 700 different players. All right, I'm gonna, instead of trying to show it to you live, I'm gonna pull up this presentation real quick and show you some of the templates that we have on the same website, that same resource page. And these templates group those layers together. So you don't have to go in there and pull up 10 or 15 layers individually. You can pull up that one template and it loads everything you want to see on a normal basis. I was trying. There it goes. So that same resource page, see that blue arrow down there? That's our spreadsheet with our templates in it. You pull it, open it up, and it's going to show you a list of the templates, the layers that they came from, the source data, how it can be used, some different tips about it. And this is just a good reference. Rather than having to scroll through 750 layers, you can look at them in groups and say, oh yeah, I'm interested in natural environment, or I'm interested in archaeology, or I'm interested in utilities, or 4F, or parks and recreation. We have all these groups, so it's a lot easier to look for those layers using this template. Then I'll send out this presentation. These are links in here that take you directly to those pages when you're online. Then some exciting stuff that we have going on. Let's get this one to come up. So another way we're trying to collect utility data is that we went back about 10 years and captured 3,000 projects, DOT projects. Not the as-built, which is we want next, is the ones that went to construction, the LET package. And in that was utilities and cut lines and edge payment and everything else that you see on a set of DOT projects. And this is it right here. So as you can see, you're going to get existing and proposed right-of-way. You get the roadway alignments. You're getting all the structures. You're getting utility lines. That's gas, water, and electric for your underground utilities. Any kind of easements that were there, and then what we had for right-of-way acquisitions also. So this is a layer that, we're working on now. We had to clean it up a little bit because we converted it from CAD to GIS. That should be finished by the end of the year. And then this is gonna be, like I said, 3,000 projects statewide where we collected that data. The next step is to get that as-built data. That as-built is really the golden ticket. It's really hard to get that, if you can imagine. It's amazing how hard it is to get as-built data. So that's our next piece of the puzzle that we're adding in there is the as-built data. We may have to get legislation. Y'all talking about legislation earlier. We may have to get legislation enacted so that we can get that as-built data. But that's the next piece of our puzzle. Like I said, for utility work, it's been a puzzle. We started off with the local, available online. Colliers helps us collect things from the bigger owners. We're piecing together this, called the ROMS data, from old CAD projects, moving into GIS, working for that next thing of the as-built. And so we keep adding pieces to that puzzle so that we can get more and more information about what's actually out there on the ground. We've had, project delays, project cost increase, conflicts where we didn't know about systems early on. And it not only bothers our schedule, but the other person's schedule too, and their costs. So the next thing we're doing is another little quick update. Means I'm going to get to it. We got Atlas Map coming up. Atlas Map is where we're moving to the cloud. This will come up. Let's see. So with it coming and moving to the cloud, you're going to be able to run your search and screening in the same tool. You're going to have a bigger user interface. It's going to be more reactive because you're using cloud computing. I'm just catching up now. There we go. Cloud solution is going to expand capacity, so you can use LiDAR and some of these bigger raster data sets in there. It's going to improve the efficiency that you're working on and increase your study size area. So right now you have so you have bigger map that you'll be able to view in the solution. It's trying a little mouse about they're trying to run. But there we go. So you get a bigger map. You can draw multi-part study areas. You can select multiple bridges or culverts along the way if you're interested in that. One really cool thing we're going to do is right now our location is just by like an address or a STIP. In the future, if there's an attribute, like you're looking for a bridge or a structure number, an attribute within a sewer layer number, we'll be able to search on that attribute and you'll be able to locate your site by that in your place you're trying to get to. To me, that is very, because we'll be able to, instead of just like a road or an address or a STIP, you say, oh, well, my bridge structure number is so-and-so. I want to go to that bridge. Or my sewer manhole number is this, but jump me straight to that sewer manhole. So that's going to be a very powerful tool that's coming up. Then the templates that we have. Those templates help you load all those layers up easily rather than they click through each one. So I think that's the majority of my discussion. I would like to get back, my questions. Do y'all have, do most people in here have an NCID? Can y'all use it actively? You had one?
I have one.
You have one? Don't use it actively? Okay. Well, that's how you get to this data, is through your NCID. If you need help setting one up, let me know. We removed the AD requirements that we had before that caused us these problems before and took it down to just NCID is all you need now. And that helped a lot more people get access a lot easier. Y'all have obstacles? Y'all use data? Do you use data like on your desktop or use it online? How do y'all typically use GIS data? Online? Remote? That's something y'all use before you go out to a site, or you look at mainly on site? Get out there,
I use it while I'm on site.
on site?
We're 30 minutes, so we need our next stretch.
Okay, that'll take 30 minutes. But that was my presentation today. And like I said, if you got any questions, let me know, and I'll be glad to answer them. Like I said, it's a live desk that you email into.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. You guys have come a long ways.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to just give me a call?
Yeah, because it's so confusing. It is.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, you got Farrell wet next?
Well, I'm trying to get
Is it Farrell wet next?
Yeah. A yoga move.
Yeah.
There you go. Leah.
You don't have to go out.
So we're gonna just go around the room. Leilani, thank you. We really appreciate that. That is, that's very valuable. It's a lot of data. So I would encourage, and I will provide this on our website. You provide me the presentation. We'll certainly share what you will allow us to share
Yeah.
through NC 811, because I think this is very valuable.
And I appreciate y'all's time.
You're welcome. Thank you. We're gonna let Court start first because he needs to bolt. So Court, I'll let you give an update.
Again, Court verified, yes. You know, and I noticed, you know, we have lately been doing this on a lot of updates, stuff like that. But we work with every operator in the county just about. And so we do have a lot of tickets, but, and I went to all our remote entry people and I talked to them about, please, when these guys are asking for updates and tickets, talk to them about what do we need, what don't we need, and can we reduce the numbers? And I've been working on that. But then looking at the numbers too, though, you know, the tickets that's damage prevention. You know, when you look at those 3-hour tickets, rush tickets, oh my God, look at the numbers. Well, that's damage prevention. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to go out there and dig. You're supposed to call it, there's no pay on that. You're supposed to call it 3-hour emergency, you know, rush ticket. This, that. So, you know, like I said, the numbers are the numbers, but the numbers are damage prevention. You know, you're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to follow the law, stuff like that. But, you know, trying to make a conscious effort to reduce the noise in the system is the word they like to use on it. But we're doing that, working at it. But that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
meeting.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Trevor, we're gonna start with you over here and then we'll just work our way around the room if that's okay.
Sure. So I'm Trevor Green, damage prevention specialist for the Raleigh area of Dominion Energy. I don't have anything of note to share. Everybody's doing a good job, doing their best.
Any issues as far as out in the field that we need to make people aware of?
Well, not necessarily that I think anybody in this room, I think everybody in this room that does have operations out in the field is kind of hip to these things. It was mentioned earlier that I'm very active on the damage review board. I submit a lot of cases, which I do. I'm a nice guy though, okay? Don't get the wrong idea. I'm not trying to bust people's, but it's mostly for people that fail to call. Professionals that just aren't calling 811. That's who I typically target and so for us that usually falls into like track builders, contractors that the electrician didn't call in a ticket to put in a ground rod, or the plumber putting in, the landscaper putting in bushes at the new home and didn't call in a ticket. Those are the ones that we continue to have some what we feel are really unnecessary hits from, and that's usually who I send, but I'll send anybody if it's bad enough, but yeah, that's
Dave Holder, City of Raleigh, transportation, safety, and all quiet on our doorsteps.
Wow, that is nice for a change.
Jay Harlech, Raleigh Water. You guys have been using water, so that's great. We had 10 inches of rain this month, so that helped keep our levels pretty high.
We needed it.
Tony Mitchell with USIC. I'm the Associate Area Manager for all Wake County and Durham County. So some of the things you said earlier, and I know Court said, we've got to kick the bottleneck out of the system. We update tickets. When you called in 300 tickets in a shot, and then you update all 300, it just continues to steamroll us where we don't know what you actually need, and we're spending a lot of time doing things that we probably shouldn't be. So, but that's it.
We can't encourage you enough to manage your contractors that are working for you and all the subs. And I know that it's difficult, but we're never going to get a hold on this until we all do our part to try to, manage some of these subs out in the field. And if we can get them to the meetings, help them understand the big picture, it only helps. So please try to get some of your folks here.
My name's Simon Flores. I work for Cardinal. I'm their utility damage prevention specialist.
So tell the group who you work for, some of the members, or what you're doing.
So basically, I focus on all the guys that are digging out there, making sure that they don't hit any utilities. Make sure that 811 tickets are called in, the tickets as they go, any updates as well. The company that Cardinal has is Cardinal Civil Aviator, so they were focused on utilities, grading, clearing, and as well as asphalt.
Appreciate you being here today.
I'm Lisa Alfaro. I work with Colliers Engineering with David and Robert and try to keep them in line as much as possibly can. Good job.
She's my hero.
Well, if you need some help, I don't live too far from him, so if I need to, take him out or something, yeah. Okay.
Thanks, how Colors is your.
I'm Eric Lynn. I was with Spectrum up until about a week ago. Now I'm with Myers Engineering. I came for the from Atlas. I was with Spectrum in the eastern side from South Carolina up through Maryland. Any states and stay kind of east of 95. Thanks for your time.
I'm Sandy Johnson. I really don't have anything to speak up.
Mark Ware, Dominion Energy. First of all, pet peeve, tickets per work day were up in June from 2023. 2023 had 22 work days. Or had one work day. So yes, it was actually a 24% increase in rate per work day, and that just bothers me. That I fight that.
We need to make sure we add that in there for you, just specifically.
You give me like March, ticket counts were way down. Well, the previous March had 2 more work days in March. Anyway, here in Wake County, we had 26,700 tickets in June. 42% of our whole company, like customers, you name it, 42% of them in Wake County. We had 33 damages. We had a damage ratio of 1.26, which wasn't the best in the company last month, but year to date, we've got a 1.11 damage ratio, which 10 years ago, that would have been closer to a 2.8, 2.9 damage. So, doing pretty good.
Obviously, Dominion Energy, North Valley, from a operator
perspective, we're doing fine, keeping up managing our tickets. We have a second party contractor that helps us out, so across Mark stated damages are down. From an excavator standpoint, having a hard time getting things located, even after we're calling 3-hour tickets. So fighting that, try to get some, yeah.
Bridget River, energy, working on problem. They cut there.
Bonnie Young, North Raleigh, Dominion Energy. Brittany Lewis, Dominion Energy, North Raleigh. Jerry Clay, North Raleigh, Dominion Energy.
Eli, Dominion.
Did not.
All right, so are there any other damages that you guys want to share or any projects that you have coming up before we go to the online folks? So let's look at folks that we have online. All right, Diana, do you have anything for the group?
Not at this time, thank you.
All right, super glad to have you today. How about you, Don?
No, I'm good. Thanks everybody for their input, but no, I don't have anything.
Great. Fred, I know you've got something.
I usually do. Just what I've been finding uptick in with some of these contractors on site is we made contact with the number on the ticket and everything and relay the information with our phone number and our positive response. But some of these, specifically subcontractors, don't even know if they even had a full positive response and what it is, or not even the numbers shared with the people actually doing work out in the field. I've ran into several that don't even know what a code 55 is, and they're working out there, and we've given our phone number and everything else to the number on the ticket, and the contractor's just doing work without ever contacting us back.
Fred, do we need to send you all some positive response cards that you can hand out, or?
Oh, that would be great.
Okay, we'll certainly do that. Anything else for you?
No, it's just most of the people I'm working with are fantastic out there, and I enjoy working with them and doing a very good job of protecting the utilities out there, with the exception of very few.
So tell us a little bit about how many locators you have for the town of Cary right now. Are you guys back up staffed wise, or where are you at?
We have 5 full-time locators, one backing us up, temporary loan to us. We're staying pretty well on top of things. We have hired out for at least a couple weeks here, KCI, to help us out with some additional locates.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Fred while we have him? All right, Jackie, we've got you. Anything for the group?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't have anything. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is anybody interested in hearing a little bit of update on Brightspeed? I should say, is anyone having issues with getting things located for Brightspeed? Is that a no? Yes, no? Okay. All right, well, SNN has picked up that project. I know we've had a few little glitches here. Yesterday I spent some time. So all of their ticket types are being screened. And my understanding is it's being done through Earth, which is using AI product. So we've had a few little issues, with that. They're working, I think, on some of the issues. You'll notice as the tickets kind of come through, my understanding is the phone number that's attached to that member code is going to one of the managers with SNN. So we have asked them to provide a secondary contact that would go to Brightspeed. And when I say we, I'm talking about our member services division that work with the members, so that hopefully we'll have an additional contact as well. If you have any issues, let me know. We'll certainly try to get you in contact. There is obviously a transition period. I know that they have quite a few tickets out there to respond to. I think they worked over the weekend, and it's a process. So bear with us or bear with them. And then certainly if you have any issues, let me know. We'll try to get you in contact with the right people. All right. Anything else for the good of the group?
Something you said that just kind of reminded me.
Okay.
As I go out and about, now this isn't, it's not a big concern to me. My job is protecting gas lines, but I have observed frequently utilities not being labeled by the locator. So in other words,
yes,
I'll be at a job site and I might see 6 or 7 orange lines and none of them saying who they belong to. So that's not a big concern to me, but I know for the excavator out there, it's helpful to them to know who to call if they hit something. Nobody complains about it. They don't know. So that's always reminding that is a requirement to label your.
Good point there, Trevor. As he stated, it's so important to identify with the operator ID. Just as a reminder, on our NC811 app, we do have that button for the operator ID. If they provided it to us, you can go there and you can see in each of those counties what that represents. So it encourages you, if you don't have the NC811 app downloaded. What was that? Okay, we just heard a boom, and so feel free to download that app. A lot of great resources. The near ticket feature is always great. Just, also as a FYI, you can obviously use your near ticket. Say you're this weekend, you're at home and you see your neighbor digging. If you don't have your app downloaded to your phone, go to your desktop, go to your iPad, go to your computer, and you can actually use near ticket from that as well. So we'd encourage you to do that. And then finally, I did want to just as a reminder on the update tickets, can't encourage enough, if you're not actively working in that area, let the life of the ticket follow through. And if you're moving on somewhere else and you're going to come back, let that ticket life expire. And then as long as it's within 90 days, you're going to go back in that area. If nothing's changed on that ticket, pull that ticket back up, update the ticket. The system will allow you to do that. That benefits that locator so that they can move on down the road, do what they need to do. And it's not bogging down the system, because as you said, you're throwing 300 locates in, and then you're 15 working days later updating it again, and then there's no work going on. That's excessive updates that don't need to happen. So please, if you need more help understanding that process, let us know. We'll be more than happy to assist you. So, all right. Anything else that's pressing that for the good of the group? Well, our next meeting, obviously, as always, the last Wednesday of the month. Tuesday. Wake's always Tuesday, MEC's always Wednesday. So our next meeting will be August the 27th. We'll have Parrish back, obviously representing for NC811. Here, Sandra, time-wise, do we know at this point, or we going to be 11 o'clock again, or? Okay.
Yeah. And we don't have a spot for lunch now.
All right.
So we like spot for lunch.
So if we have anyone that would like to sponsor for August, please let Sandra know and she'll get you squared away. All right. Well, with that, Colliers, thank you again for providing lunch, and I will let these folks online. I'll let you guys go unless you have something else to add. Otherwise, thank you for joining us online.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ann.
Guys.